In the vibrant landscape of Ghana, in a town called Botemang, there lived a happy couple, Ni and Aoko. Both couples had been married for many years. At first, Ni's parents did not agree for them to get married because of Ayoko's quick temper, but Ni always found ways to calm her down. Life was difficult for them. Aoko is a businesswoman who has her own shop at Mokola. She sells many things that you would find in a store. Her mom also has her own shop at Mokola. Her and her sister all have shops at Mokola. It's a business they inherited from their great-grandmother. From the business she does, she can get enough money and give it to her husband, who is also working, making some money, but Aoko makes more than him. Ni is a very good man. Not only good, but very humble. Many people know him and love him. Some mothers wish Ni would have chosen their daughter as his wife because of his hard work. But his eyes are only on Aoko, not because of the money, but because of the bond they shared from childhood. Years passed by, and God blessed them with triplets, 2 boys and 1 girl. After giving birth, Aoko had to stay home to take care of the children, but she couldn't stay home for everything, so she hired a servant to take care of her children, so she could go back and work at the market over at Mokola. One day in her shop, her friend named Jane came to her. Jane told Aoko how she saw her husband with another woman at the restaurant having lunch. Without thinking or questioning, Aoko called her husband and started to shout on the phone. She drove her car straight to where Ni was and saw him sitting with another woman, eating lunch. Aoko picked up a glass of water and poured it all over the woman who was eating lunch without further investigation of the situation. Unfortunately, the woman has a very well-known business that made millions of money and wanted to sign a deal with Ni. Aoko realized what she had done and started to plead for forgiveness. Both went straight home embarrassed by Ayoko's actions. Ni started to complain to his mother about Ayoko's incompetence and impatience. Aoko tried to work things out with her husband. She was trying her best to control her temper. She made more time for her husband. She came straight home after work. Things were going well for both couples until one day, Ayoko's mother was not feeling very well. She had breathing problems and needed her inhaler quickly. The servant ran to the pharmacy to quickly get her inhaler. The pharmacy she went to did not have the inhaler, so she ran to a different one quickly. Because of this, they were late to pick up the kids from school. So the school called Aoko and informed her that the kids have not been picked up and were still waiting. Aoko left her job and quickly drove to pick up the kids. Because of her impatience, when she went home, she was mad at both the servant and the driver for not picking up her kids from school and started to slap the both of them, the servant and the driver. Due to her high temper, she did not even ask for what happened and continued to beat the servants with no mercy. The mother came from her room asking, "Why is she slapping the servant?" Aoko replied saying, "This buffoon forgot to pick up my kids from school, and I had to leave my job to go pick up the kids." "This fool you are calling just saved my life," the mother replied in a stern tone. "She couldn't pick up the children because she had to go get my inhaler because I was having breathing problems." After hearing that, Aoko felt bad and went to her room. Her mother came to her room and told her to apologize to both the servant and the driver, but of course she refused. The servant and the mother then told her husband, who was not happy to hear about it. He talked to her to change her behavior and, as always, control her anger. Some time passed by and Ni was working on a big contract with the government. The secretary arranged a time and date when he can come and sign the contract. Ni went with his secretary to sign the contract, but on his way leaving the meeting, Jane spotted both of them and decided to call Aoko to come and witness what her husband was doing, whilst not knowing what exactly he was doing, but decided to assume the worst. When Aoko drove to where her husband was, she saw her husband getting into a car with another woman who happened to be his secretary, but unfortunately, she couldn't recognize her due to her being so far away. She followed both her husband and his secretary secretly. Ni was going at his normal speed, but Aoko was speeding to catch up with him. She tried to pass in front of her husband's car to cut him off. This came off as a surprise for Ni, and he reacted too slow, causing him to hit her car, leading to a huge crash. Unfortunately, Aoko died on the spot in this tragic accident. Her husband fell into a deep coma, as well as the secretary. Both struck with no clue on how and why this happened. 3 long days passed, and Ni finally had arisen from his coma. Confused about what happened and why he was in the hospital, he called for the nurse, asking for any sort of explanation. She then proceeds to narrate the entire story of how he got there and informs him that the secretary was doing well, but didn't tell him that his beloved wife passed away, for she did not know about her passing. His family came after they discharged him and took him home. As soon as he had gotten home, he asked his family, "Why didn't Aoko come to pick me up?" Everyone was dead silent. Every single member stood in that house except Aoko. Swallowed by guilt and sorrow, the family began to spill everything. 3 days ago, I received a call from Aoko. She was ranting angrily, saying that Jane told her that she saw you in a car with an unknown woman, the mother said while sobbing. I tried to explain to her that it was only your secretary, but she wasn't listening to anyone. She refused to listen to anything else. The car you hit was your beloved wife Ayoko's, the servant said, looking down at the floor. She didn't survive and was killed on impact. As soon as this terrible news entered Ni's ears, his heart seized. Ni suffered a fatal heart attack. Impatient, claimed both parents, leaving 3 orphaned siblings in the weeping family. The moral of the story is all about the value of taking a breath and thinking things through before jumping into conclusions or making snap decisions. It is a reminder that patience pays off, and acting impulsively can lead to unintended consequences. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.